Hey guys, it's Vince. Today in this video, I'd like to discuss a message from one of my international clients who's actually in Italy right now. His name is Francesco, and he purchased one of my systems. Now it's probably been about a month prior to all of the virus drama that's been going on, and I do hope you and your families are safe. And I do hope that all of you are taking this serious. I know many people seem to not be looking at this as something that is critical, due to the fact that, of course, they're more concerned about the almighty dollar, which we all are, but again, your health and safety of your family should always precede that, and that's something that I just can't emphasize enough. I go through it with my own family, and I am grateful that I'm able to work from home. And that being said, Francesco's a great person, and he messaged me as a follow-up about his system. And I get questions still all the time as far as servo versus stepper accuracy and just general accuracy of systems. And honestly, this video really takes the cake as far as what you're actually able to do with a properly calibrated machine. And just to give you a little breakdown as far as what hardware he's using, he is using a Chinese 6040 chassis. He contacted me about doing a retrofit. I gave him my standard retrofit package, no different than Rick Perry and all my other clients really are using. But he went with my stainless motor couplers, and it's really, the only way I can explain this is you guys have to see this as far as going over the accuracy level he achieved. He actually messaged me here. This is my actual eBay account, and this is the message I received because I get a lot of guys saying, well, maybe that's not real, this, that, and the other thing. You can see here's his name. Hey Vince, lately didn't have much time to work on the machine, didn't finish fine-tuning yet anyway, have a look here. And he made me Dropbox videos of it. I thank him here. Hey Francesco, thank you for the follow-up. After I watched the video, I said, she really sounds excellent. What resolution is the indicator you're using? Is it Minatoya? Forgot to mention I modified your enclosure. You're right, just had to. I told him, I said, we just had the first case in my city. We're referring to the virus. Of course, he's under lockdown right now in that country. And needless to say, he did modify my enclosure to support adding a spindle, like many of you do. Hey Vince, I hope this finds you well. Had a general situation over there. I just wanted to share my engraving work. Just made awesome result for your reference. That's a 3mm character height and 0.1 millimeter engraved on a really crap piece of aluminum, 1 millimeter thick. So once again, I'm going to cover with you the videos that he sent. This is his machine performing calibration. The distance here is about 150 millimeters to 200 millimeters he's going through. You'll see this in another message. Now, I cannot emphasize enough, when we cover the resolution, this is where things really get impressive. I know many of you are thinking this is, like a thousandth of an inch indicator. It is not. I'm going to let you watch some more of the videos. This way you can see exactly what he's working with. Here's from a different angle. You can hear how, you can hear how smooth his motors sound. I mean, the transmission on this machine is stock. He hasn't done anything. He's just doing fine-tuning and motor setup as far as motor tuning and dialing in the speed rates. You guys can see the repeatability on the indicator. It fluctuates very, very, very minimal. Okay. Once again, he fluctuated all the way from, we'll say, 2000s to 1000s. I'm not going to tell you the graduation yet. As we go through, I'm going to show you now actually engraving. Here we go. You can see he's got his mist cooler on, and he's engraving in aluminum. The tip on that is 0.1 millimeters, again, on the actual engraver. Okay, go to the next one. This one gives you really up close and personal look at exactly what he's doing. Once again, 0.1 millimeters, that tip is. You can see just how clean that goes right through. And again, with the mist cooling, he doesn't have it on real high, but you can definitely see it's doing its job. Definitively, this video really clarifies just how accurate these machines are when they're set properly. Once again, you hear the motors, how smooth they are. And we'll go back. And here is the finished template he made. You can see how clear that is. Now we're going to cover the resolution that that indicator reflected as far as accuracy, which I think is most impressive. I naturally asked him, the indicator is at Mitutoyo in the message. You guys can follow this through. I'm just going to skim across this. This is what his response was. Thanks for your prayers, Vince. So far everything is okay nearby, but we are really living a disaster movie-like situation. Unreal anyway. We'll win. Back to the machine. The indicator is 1,000th of a millimeter resolution, but a Chinese one bought off Amazon. For your information, the travel distance during measurement on x-axis was 150 and 200 millimeters on the y. Absolutely no problem if you want to post the videos, because of course I always ask everybody if I'm able to use their videos. I will go ahead with fine-tuning in the next days and test at different speeds for a longer time to get motors well warmed up. I'll try and send more video with a first cutting or engraving test, and that's exactly what he did. Again, you can see this is my account. There's no joke here. So let's go over resolution. When that indicator was reflecting 0.002 millimeter, that's the equivalent of 0.078 thousandths. So it's not even, it's well under 1,000th of an inch, guys. Okay? So I can tell you right now, when I get questioned about accuracy, and I get questioned, and this video really covers products too, because I get questions about products all the time. With that kind of accuracy, guys, it's really up to you as far as what you want to create with the machine. It's pretty much endless. I mean, that's an amazing achievement in accuracy, especially for a chassis that's utilizing the standard transmission. 6040 chassis with a standard transmission able to achieve that accuracy is amazing, regardless of it being a Chinese indicator or not. And the only thing I actually brought up in my messages, if you go back, is the Chinese indicators. The only thing you got to watch is really the battery power on them, because they don't have the standby mode that the typical Mitutoyos do have. Their accuracy is usually pretty, I mean, I've never found one that really was off dramatically. Either way you look at it, that's still truly, truly amazing accuracy. And that's something that, once again, is defined in video from a client that I can tell you right now is really just studying everything he can on his machine, because there's not much he can do. And that's the other part of this video, guys, is I cannot emphasize this enough. Like I said to you at the beginning of it, I'm grateful that I'm able to work from home and do what I love to do. I wish you all of that. I wish every one of you really look at this not such as just a miserable way of being home and having to, you know, be confined in really just readjusting your lives, but really look at it as an opportunity to readjust your way of thinking. Many of you contact me and always tell me, you know, I've heard everything from, hey, you know, I'm retired. What's the best price you can give me? This is just a hobby to me. And I never understand that way of thinking. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, and it's something that I've always, you know, really looked to strive and do my best in. And it's something that I feel all of you at one point or another realize when you mess with this type of robotic capability and you have it in your hands, at one point or another, you usually come across the idea that, hey, you know what? This, all I have to do is show somebody what I've created, and it really trips their trigger as far as what you're able to do. This is the ideal time for you guys to really focus on diversifying your income. You know, the government's going to be subsidizing most incomes that are there. And with that being said, I cannot think of a better time for anybody to at least look at their equipment and say, what can I do with this to leverage my time now? Picture it like you're getting paid to learn and adapt your thinking to a different way. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't look at. They look at this, and many of my clients I'll talk to, and they'll tell me, hey, you know, I just do this for a hobby because I'm retired. But on the second note, you know, they'll tell me that, you know, they're on a fixed income and they're not happy with the income they're making. You can't have it both ways, guys. You know, the idea of automation in any factory is leverage. And you guys have an amazing opportunity to use this leverage. Use this opportunity now at home to really put focus on using this equipment for what it was designed to do, and that is, you know, leverage off of and make yourself money with it. You know, really focus on it. For the guys that are just learning, just getting equipped with their equipment, become extremely familiar. Read all the documentation. Go over the hardware of the machine. You know, go over the electronics. That's the only way you're going to get good at this. There is no shortcut with this. You know, and that's the big thing. I get questioned on that a lot too. I get questioned, you know, how do you solder like that? That's extremely precise. I don't do that with one connection. I've done that over thousands of connections. You know, there's no school to make you an expert hands-on. That's why doctors go and they have internships and residencies before they actually, you know, work on patients. They can go to school for years and years and years, but if they've never physically done anything, it's useless. It's no different than any other applicational genre you're in. And this is something that we all want to master or should want to master, regardless of your hobby level or not. I certainly don't build the equipment to support just hobby. You know, when guys tell me that, hey, you know what, I want to design a system just for, you know, hobby use. They tell me that with the regard to make the machine as cheap as possible. I realize that. The thing is, there is no such thing as cheap when you're asking for a robot to be able to produce with accuracy. It's either right or it's wrong. And if it's something where you say, well, I don't really care about accuracy, then in theory, why not do it by hand? So it kind of goes both ways. And that's why I really cannot emphasize I look at a guy like this who's stuck right now in his house. They're under lockdown. They're going through hell over there. I mean, far worse than we are. We're just adapting to this. These people are, going through all kinds of issues with, right now the death toll goes up by the day there. And he's sending me videos of this, and he's really dictating his time to learning his machine, doing what he can, and really trying to master what he's invested in. And I think that's brilliant, and that's a great way for all of us to look at this. Really diversify what you guys are into. You love this. If you're into it, I love it. It's my passion. It's my career. It's something that I do. Like I said, I tell all you guys, the internet doesn't sleep. My questions never stop, and I cannot emphasize, all of you should look at this, and many of you are. I know many of you are. Look at this as an opportunity. Don't look at this as just being locked down. If you're, in poor health, of course, rest. I absolutely wish you all the best. But for those of you who still have your health and everything is going well, what an opportunity. If you're home and you've got your equipment, study it, dissect it, go over it, and become as much of a scientist with it as possible. Master the software, master anything you can to get you one step ahead. And I think overall that leverage factor will pay off. And again, it gives you guys more diversity, more opportunity. And that's the big thing. Always leave your doors open, because I think if anything we've learned from any of this, myself included, is just how unstable and fragile everything is. I mean, we never think of something like this happening, and now we're all facing it, regardless of where we are in the world. I have clients all over the world. And again, it's frightening to think this can you got the carpet pulled out from underneath you instantly. This is a way to diversify and make sure that you guys find stability, and I think it's something that we should all invest in. So again, to all of my subscribers, I love you guys. To Francesco, I can't thank you enough, sir. The video you've produced, or multiple videos you produced, is amazing. I really thank you for giving me the opportunity to use these. I hope it's inspired all of you. Again, he's in Italy, where beautiful country, amazing country. Unfortunately, we're hit the hardest. Right now, they're definitely getting hit the hardest in retrospect to what's going on other than China. And, we have a lot to be thankful for. And hopefully, not only is this something to learn from and just what's capable of what this equipment can do, once again, using the proper tools in the right hands, but also show you guys that, there's positivity to be found. All we have to do is look hard enough. So again, my subscribers, I love you guys. Francesco, thank you. I love you too. If you guys have any questions, once again, questions, quotes, message me direct at storm2313@gmail.com. Guys, of course, the virus drama is really getting exponentially huge where I am. Again, I am in Florida, and the state is pretty much covered with it right now, so I'm doing my best. Naturally, the workload is increasing because there's a lot more online sales. And again, online businesses need support all the time for their equipment. So please keep that in mind. I will get with everybody as soon as I can. I will answer, of course, all emails. Again, if you guys have questions or quotes, you can message me once again at my email, which will be on the screen, or my eBay store, eDealers Direct. That'll also be on the screen as well. To all of you and your families, I wish you the absolute best. Be safe. God bless. Thank you. Take care.